Let's do a fun little exercise. And yes, I know I call all exercises fun, but it's fun, right? We get to code. All right. Let's say we have a function here, and this function is going to be called loop, another original name. And inside of this loop, we'll have a for loop that has variable I equal to 0. Let's say I is, or should be less than 5. And as long as it's less than 5, well, we're going to keep incrementing. And we're going to loop and just console.log I. And after this for loop, again, within this function, I'm going to also do console.log I. Now, let's add a final text here and see what happens when I run this. What do you think is going to happen? If I run, well, nothing, because, trick question, I haven't really invoked the function. So let's do that. I'm going to loop and run. All right. Does that make sense? We declared a variable, made it 0. We loop through everything, and once we're done with all of this, we finished everything. I becomes 5. We do is 5 less than 5? Nope. Then I'm going to ignore this, skip over this block, and go to console log. And because I is now 5, our final value is 5. But what if I change this to a let? What would happen now with block scope? Think about it. Pause the video if you need to. Otherwise, let's see what happens. I'm going to hit run. Uh-oh, I get a reference error. I is not defined. And why is that? Well, because we're trying to use I outside of its environment. It's block scoped, right? So the environment that it's in, well, it's inside of these curly brackets. So we can't really access it outside of those brackets. So this isn't going to work. Now, this may have unintended consequences. Maybe you do want to print this properly. So there are cases where the variable keyword is still useful, but it's nice to know that we now have a way to have block scoping whenever we need it. So to review, block scoping means declaring a variable not just inside a function, but around any curly brackets, like if statements or loops. Now, the variable itself, let I, is actually still in memory, but the engine just won't allow you to access it before, like it was when we used var. This way, we get to keep our mental framework of execution context and variable environment, but also have this little let keyword and const keyword that give us some of the powers of block scoping. All right, I think that's enough for now. Take a break, and I'll see you in the next video.